Hello, and welcome to the Indy Presents Fort Fuel. I'm Haley Knippel.
And I'm Lindley Gallegos.
We hope that you had a wonderful summer, but once again, we're back to school, which means that fall is right around the corner, and football season is in full swing. Our boys played a money game in Montana this past weekend, and Lindley interviewed Coach John L. and defensive lineman Dalton Lane of our very own Skyhawk football team to get the details. Let's see what she found out.
I'm Lindley Gallegos reporting live from the Skyhawk football locker room. Over the weekend, our team played 11th ranked Division I team Montana State, where they fell 14-45. But they did receive a considerable amount of money for this game, and 14 points is quite an accomplishment when Montana State's stadium capacity is 5 times the size of your student body. I'm here with senior defensive lineman Dalton Lane. Thanks for having us today, Dalton.
No problem.
So, how did you feel going into the game knowing that you're unfortunately expected to lose?
I try not to think too much about that. I go in the same way to every game we play. I just go give it my best shot, so I didn't think about it too much.
Is it worth it for this program to take on big teams like this every year?
Yes, for funding and for it's better to get the big one out of the way at the beginning, because everyone else you go against the rest of the year isn't as good as them usually. So it's gets you ready, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that leads me into my next question. Are you ready for conference now? How do you feel your team is prepared?
I'm very excited for conference. We played very well against Montana State. You know, the score was high, but we shut them out almost at half, and that is more than most or any Division I AA team did last year. So I'm very excited. Our defense is playing well. Our offense is starting to get a thing going, so I'm pretty excited.
I'm here today with head coach John L. Smith, going into his second season here with the Skyhawks. How are you doing today, sir?
Every day's a good day.
Very nice. After facing the 11th ranked team here in the football championship series, what can you say about this year's team?
Well, I think we're much improved over what we have been for the last couple of years. I think our depth is better. We have a lot of kids that have been in the program now for 3 years, so without a doubt, we should be a better football team. And if we can stay healthy, that's kind of the key on any level, let alone Division II, where you have fewer scholarships. You have to stay healthy. So if we stay healthy, I think we have a chance of being a real good football team, particularly before the end of the year is out.
It's my understanding that you play a money game like this one here against Montana State every year. Can you tell the general public about what that is?
Well, in Division II and where we are in this program, a lot of Division II schools may not have to go out and play a money game, but where we are in this program and the amount of funding we get, we have to go out and try to find ourselves somebody that'll give us some money to come in and play them. So normally what we'll do in the off season is to call all the Big Sky schools or anybody that's a Division I level and say, can you give us a game? And we will come there for this amount of money, and then you beg for an amount of money, you know, give us more, give us more, give us more. And then after they sign the contract, then you go back and you beg for rooms. Can you give us rooms? Cool. Can you give us rooms? So anyway, you just try to make the program survive, and that's what it takes.
So did Montana State help out your program this year?
Montana State did. I'll tell you what, the assistant athletic director there is a very close friend, and I called him several times as we were working this thing out. They had to go change their schedule from what was already done. He ended up dropping a team, rescheduling somebody, picking us up, and paying us a good sum to come up there. So it was, we're thankful.
Good. Well, we're glad they could do that for you. Do you worry about your boys getting hurt by these teams that are essentially, you know, a lot bigger?
Well, that's a big concern. It always is, yes. But we want to go in, and our guys at this program, you know, they all feel like, well, maybe I could be a Division I player, or maybe that's where I should be playing. So it's always good to go out and play people like that and find out how you stack up. The other thing is to say, gosh, let's get out of here without any injuries, and which we did this last week, and we're thankful for that.
Very good.
You know, hopefully we can go out this week and get a win at home and start something at home where it's a tradition for us to win at home, and you can't come in here and walk out with a win. We're going to kick your tail when you come in here. So that's what we'd like to get started with Panhandle this week if we can. They're awful athletic. And then the week after that we have Black Hills coming in, which is a game that, you know, they have to travel a long distance, so we're coming in here. we should have a little bit of an advantage. So stay healthy, and if our kids go out and execute, I think we'll be fine this week.
Very good. Okay. Here with John L. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Wow, what an interesting opportunity for our players.
Yeah, definitely. That's a lot of money coming straight to the program, so they're lucky.
So what does that do for our program? Like, where does all of the money go?
So the coach gets to distribute it in scholarships, in funding for housing, and travel costs, and I know they need that for the program. We are Division II.
Yeah, and so playing this really big school, how many people were at this game? Like, the stadium that they played in was huge, right?
Their stadium holds 20,000 people, which is actually our student body 5 times.
That's incredible. So playing in front of an audience, really, like that had to be good practice for them.
It was televised nationally as well, ESPN, so awesome.
Well, good for our boys. I'm definitely excited to see them play this semester.
There will be games coming up all semester, and those games are a great way to get involved with school spirit. There's a lot of other events on campus as well. Haley did a brief interview with the members of the Residence Hall staff from Cooper Hall about a few things that are coming up.
Hello. Today we're here with a few members of the Cooper Hall residence staff, Kayla, Molly, and Mallory, to talk about some of the events that are going to be happening on campus this fall. We're going to start with the Consent Carnival. Kayla, what can you tell us about that?
So the Consent Carnival is at this Saturday at 6 o'clock. It's going to be like lots of like fun carnival games with like consent incorporated into it to teach like how to get consent, what is consent, like what are the conditions required for consent. So it'll be in the ballroom upstairs.
Wonderful. Up next, my favorite personal event is Fiesta on the Mesa, and that's on September 15th. It's a celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, which begins on September 15th and goes through until October 15th. What is your favorite part about Fiesta on the Mesa, ladies?
I really enjoy all the different music, lots of different sounds. Sometimes we don't hear as much. There's a lot of culture ingrained in it. Super cool.
Definitely. What do you think, Mallory?
The dancing that goes on is really cool to watch. I can't do any of that stuff.
Definitely sounds like a blast to me. And what's up next? I believe the Glow Run, that comes on the 25th. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be the 25th. It'll start at 7:30 at the Clock Tower. You can start registering. It's an event also for sexual assault awareness. Housing really wanted to be intentional with that this year. The first 6 weeks are the red zone when sexual assault was happening the most on college campuses. So we want to get as much awareness about what that looks like to students.
So what does the Glow Run look like?
Yeah, the Glow Run is a really cool event. It's a bunch of students. It's kind of similar to Take Back the Night, if anyone's ever heard of that. People just kind of deck out in neon things. There'll be tons of different glow sticks and glow necklaces, glow bracelets for folks. It's a 5K run, a 3K walk, and it's just kind of taking back the night. Sexual assaults a lot of times are happening at nighttime, so we wanted to provide an event for awareness, also fun.
So it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on campus this fall.
Right. Like I said in the interview, I'm the most excited for Fiesta on the Mesa.
It's a beautiful event. Super excited about that. The consent events are also a great way to get involved.
Yeah, and they're very important. This first 6 weeks on campus, like Molly said, are the most crucial points for supporting consent and making sure that everyone on campus knows that here at the Fort, we don't support that kind of behavior. So be sure to check out the Glow Run as well as the Consent Carnival to show your support.
And now it's time for Details with Deanna.
Hi, I'm Deanna Atkins, standing outside of the Bader-Snyder Complex area, where just last night, September 9th, a bear was sighted passing through. Though bears are native to Durango and Colorado, they have not been seen on campus since the fall semester of 2012, where efforts were made by Durango Parks and Wildlife to remove not 1, but 3 bears off campus and relocate them to a safer area. Normally, Durango Parks and Wildlife will remove a bear if they are seen being aggressive or damaging property. Students are encouraged to make loud noises upon seeing a bear and to contact campus police or other authority to assess the situation. I'm Deanna Atkins, and now back to the studio.
Thank you, Deanna. Be sure to check out that full story at theindyonline.org.
In other news, enrollment is up at the Fort.
Right, which is a huge deal, especially for our RSOs, registered student organizations, basically clubs.
Yeah.
Means that they get a lot more money this semester.
I think it's about 10% more.
Which is huge. And how do we know how much enrollment has actually gone up by?
The numbers will be out after census date, which is September 15th, but just based on orientation numbers, looks like it's gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, I heard that 700 families attended this semester, which is huge.
Huge. It definitely brings in a lot of money to Durango and to our school. So here at Fort Lewis, we're really glad that we have a bunch of new Skyhawks. So welcome.
That wraps up the first edition of this semester's The Indy Presents Fort Fuel. Be sure to head online to theindyonline.org for all of your campus sports and community news, and check out the big yellow boxes around campus for the latest independent news magazine.
Until next time, I'm Lindley Gallegos.
And I'm Haley Knippel.
See you on campus.